So guys, I told you that I will be doing a video that I release every Tuesday, and this is something that I'm gonna stick to. So I am doing this video on a Monday, but it's because I think I will be working tomorrow and I won't be able to have the time to do a video in a calm way. So I'm doing it today. And the topic I want to bring up is shadow work, but know how to do it and what it is, or maybe a little bit about what it is. But I want to talk about an experience I had with myself so that you can benefit from what I'm learning and maybe not be as quite as hard on yourself as I can be. So shadow work is going into your unconscious and exploring your core beliefs and how you're resisting light from coming into your being, like what your repressed selves and all the parts of yourself that you're not comfortable with. Maybe you have suppressed them so long back that you can't even see them, and shadow work can be done quite good with emotion and dream interpretation, and maybe just witnessing, like going into yourself in meditation and asking what needs to come up, what have I been pushing into the shadows, and then you can have like a conversation with your shadow, and that can be done like maybe in a forest or something quite a little bit dark and like mystic, because the shadow resides there. So yeah, that's shadow work. And I think that everyone that works like this, or yeah, is kind of a teacher or guide. I would say guide. I don't really like teacher. I like guide because I want you to explore yourself. So I want you to go into yourself and not depend on me. I want to help you learn to have yourself as your own guide. So yeah, shadow work. I have noticed that sometimes I do shadow work as a punishment. Like, I don't have quite a base of self-love. I don't do a base of first having compassion and love for myself. I just tell myself that, yeah, I need to be doing shadow work right now when I feel like crap. So it's a form of punishing myself anymore, because I already feel like I'm a bad person, or like I'm just like there's something really wrong with me. That's a core belief I have. Something's wrong with me, working on that. So I feel like crap, and then I tell myself, yeah, I need to be the shadow work. And I don't do it as a form of self-love as I supposed to. I just do it as a form of punishment. Like, I put myself down even more. And that's something that's, yeah, it's kind of, it's really it's really hurtful, but also it serves no real purpose. Like, yeah, it does, because I can notice that pattern in myself. That's a purpose. But in healing myself, it just brings me down even more. So I don't get to any root. I just use it as a form of self-hate. So that's something I really wanted to share with you, so you can maybe, when you do shadow work, first of all, have a base of self-love. Always begin with self-love. If you have low self-esteem, if you feel really bad about yourself, if you have spiraled into self-hate, I beg you, please don't do any shadow work based upon that, because you won't feel good. You will spiral into self-hate and you won't learn anything except that you have that pattern. You will just put yourself down even more and even more and even more. So yeah, that's what I really wanted to share with you. Please, 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 always begin with self-love, no matter what you do. And Develop a practice that serves you, of loving yourself for whatever arises. I don't remember who said that, but some spiritual guide or teacher said that love yourself no matter what arises. If judgment arises, love yourself for that. If pushing for evolvement arises, love yourself for that. Love yourself for every little vulnerable and messy part of yourself, and have that as a base. Always self-love first, and then you can dive into your shadow. Because when you do that, when you dive into your shadow with a base of compassion and love, you can really put the roots up. You can really like unweed yourself, pull out all the weeds that are growing inside of you. Work with your core beliefs, toxic core beliefs. You can work with repressed selves, and yeah, just many things. But you always need self-love first. That's most important. Just self-love first, and then you can do whatever you need to, because from that place of love and compassion, you will heal, you will learn, and you will be able to transmute and transform energy inside yourself. With more hate, you won't be able to do that. You will just be in the same loop, and that's hurtful, really. So a way that you can do shadow work that I find really good, find really helpful, is to notice your thoughts and emotions. And no, I think that it's right now for me, it works really good to notice what thoughts I have about others. So there is a really good technique that I will show you someday. I learned it from Teal Swan, and it's a psychological technique to find your suppressed self, and I really like it. I think it's really good, so I will show you that someday. But for now, if you want to find the core beliefs and just observe yourself in the beginning, observe what you think about others, and observe what you think about yourself. And when you have a thought like, maybe, what can I pick? He's so full of himself. Then the core belief that you're maybe just reinforcing yourself is, I am not good enough. Because if he's so full of himself, then I don't feel good enough. Because it's never what somebody else does and feels. It's about us, really. People are mirrors for us. So he's full of himself. I'm not good enough. Because if I would feel good enough, I wouldn't think that he's full of himself. I would see the light in that behavior, not the shadow. Because the shadow, my shadow, reflects in his shadow. So that's a really helpful thing I like to do. And yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Always begin with self-love. Always. That's part number one. And if you have low self-esteem, I recommend you to not do any shadow work in the beginning. Build yourself up before you really can dive into yourself. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk with you about. I have said the same thing like 20 times, but I really want you to know this, so maybe it's good. Thank you so much for watching, and next Tuesday I will come up with a new video. Thank you for giving me your time, and have a great shadow work exploration.